Awesome. And it looks like we've got the last few people that jumped on the call, so this looks like a good place to start. Again, welcome. Thank you so much for being here tonight, making some time to learn some more about a new tool. Here's what we have planned this evening. We are going to go over setup in Teamzy. Then we're going to talk about your power hours, okay, what tools you should focus on in the system. And the last but not least, we're going to talk about following up like a pro. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. All right, guys, so you're looking at my Teamzy dashboard now. So before I go any further, it's important that you all know you have access to a free 30-day trial of our system. So if you have maybe been thinking about it or you've heard a lot about Teamzy from a colleague or a peer, know that you have access to a free 30-day trial yourself. So go ahead and log into teamzy.com and then it'll give you an option to sign up for your free 30-day trial. No credit card necessary, you're just gonna hit the ground running. All right, once you've got that trial, go ahead and jump in. If you've already done so, you might maybe have, clicked around, you've been just sort of familiarizing yourself with the system. In any case, you can get back to what's known as our setup wizard in the upper right-hand corner of your Teamzy. There's a little wheel, and you can come down to setup wizard. All right, so from the setup wizard, Teamzy is going to outline the first 3 steps that you need to do to set up your Teamzy system. Step 1, we are going to create an income goal. So because Teamzy is more than just a tracking app, okay, it's more than just an organizational tool, we're actually going to start by outlining your goals or where you want to go over the next 12 months. Now, I do want to say something about this. Teamzy, unlike other systems, is not just going to give you, a pretty placeholder or, a nice little visual of your income goal every once in a while, just to remind you, we're actually going to use this number to calculate for you the number of activities you should be doing every day, every week, every month, and eventually every year in order to stay on track with your income goal. So that's something to keep in mind about that first step, but we will go through that together. Step 2, we're going to create our powerful why. Because again, our system is designed to help you get after your goals in a healthy and constructive way. We've designed a great tool known as the powerful why. This is, a powerful why is actually something that we didn't invent, okay, but we've invented a really great exercise that kind of pulls it out of you. So even if you've never created a powerful why, if it's something you're thinking, that just doesn't sound like me, it's okay. Give in to the exercise. This is going to allow you to create sort of a reminder in your own voice of why you got in this business, why you should persevere through the challenges that come with this business. So definitely give that portion of the exercise its due. Step 3, we're going to go ahead and import our contacts. Now I know that can be the scary part. Sometimes you can feel like, is all of my information going to come over correctly? Or where do I find this? Or where do I find that? Stick with me and I promise I'm going to keep that as painless as possible, letting you know exactly where you should focus your attention when you're going through setup. All right, so those are the first 3 steps. Let's see what that looks like in real time. Okay, the first step of setup, like I said, is going to be to create that income goal. Again, this is not just a pretty placeholder. This is actually going to be used to calculate the number of activities you need to do every day. So definitely give this some thought, okay? You're going to put in a 12-month income goal. Even if you've been calculating your goals monthly, weekly, whatever the case is, just go ahead and take a step back and you'll be able to figure out your annual. Okay, so we'll hit continue here, and Teamzy is now going to take its initial swing at actually calculating those highly productive activities that I mentioned to you. How many of each activity do I need to do every day? So Teamzy lets me know, okay, Jay, $100,000, you're gonna have to connect 2,899 times over the next 12 months though. So really, if you're looking at that first number and you're thinking, oh, that's a little high, or wow, that's a large number, your goal might be a little more ambitious. And in that case, I want you to stop and really consider how many people you're already connecting with, okay? Without really giving it any intention or having a plan of any kind, you're just sort of checking in with people, reaching out, grabbing the low-hanging fruit, for lack of a better term. But imagine if you set your eyes on a prize. If you knew that you had to get from A to B and the path that it would take you to get there. So this is what Teamzy is going to do next. It's going to kind of give me the bite-sized chunk or the step-by-step path that I need to take in order to get to my goals. All right, so let's come along with us and let's see how Teamzy breaks that down. So $100,000, okay, 2,899 connections in 12 months. Seems like a lot, but really, It's only about 6 connections to your prospects, 4 to your customers, and 3 to my existing consultants. Well, that I can do. That's way more feasible. Teamzy is putting your eyes where they need to be on today. What items do I need to complete today in order to have committed the appropriate amount of time or energy or resources to my business? So Teamzy is giving you a connection goal. You need to reach out or touch base with 6 prospects, 4 existing customers, and 3 existing consultants. Now, you may get to this breakdown and you might be thinking to yourself, oh, I can do that and so much more without even breaking a sweat. Awesome. Keep up that great work. What you want to do is actually customize at this portion. So you can, okay, having accepted Teamzy's recommendation, you can sort of get in there and adjust it based on your dynamic or what you're trying to achieve. So if I was, if I'm thinking, oh, I can do that and so much more, or maybe, oh, you know what, my team has a goal of connecting with 50 new prospects a week or something, then I can go ahead and make this 10 prospect connections every day. You can just sort of adjust it based on your team goals, personal goals, things like that. Just know that the initial is a recommendation based on your income. So, all right, let's say I want to make 6 connections to my prospects, 4 to my customers, and 3 to my consultants. I'm happy with that. Or maybe you're brand new to the business and you're thinking, Jay, I just don't have customers and consultants yet. That's okay. It's a temporary status. So what you want to do in that case is just sort of redistribute the goals a little bit, okay? Keeping your eyes on the fact that Teamzy wants you to do 13 total connections in a day. You're going to say, you know what? I'll just do all 13 to my prospects, because the more focus I apply to my prospect pool, the more frequently I'll convert them into customers and consultants. All right. So I would basically make this a 0. I would make this a 0. I would add the 7 to the prospect column, and now my entire goal is 13 for prospects, as opposed to it being spread out through all of the categories. This is just sort of giving you a little bit of food for thought, considering how your goals are reflective of your dynamic. Does this currently work for the people that I'm working with, for my team size? So you can just adjust it. Let's say that I am satisfied with my goal of 6, 4, and 3 for each. Now, in addition to your connection goal every day, remember those reach outs, just checking in, Teamzy has also set a goal for me for invites and additions. So invites are going to be anytime I intentionally call someone to take action, or if if I'm working with a new prospect and I invite them to join me for an event, challenge for a 3-way call, a consultation. If I'm working with someone and I'm sending them a solution tool where they have to fill out that and I need to follow up, or if I send a mini facial or something like that, those are invites. Those have the other person taking action. So Teamzy has got a separate goal for that every day. You can take a look there and say, okay, you know what, actually I want to send out 5 invites, or I want to do 10. You have the choice to sort of challenge yourself or walk that back if you need to. Last goal that Teamzy is going to set up for you is your daily additions. So Teamzy is going to recommend that you constantly add new people to your database, because it is designed to be a lead generation system, okay? Or a system that initiates inquiry or interest into the products and services that you offer. So basically every day it's got your eyes on that prize. Have I introduced anyone new to the products and services that I offer? That can mean just meeting someone brand new, okay? It can be potential status. Meeting someone new face-to-face and belly-to-belly, popping them in your database, because you never know if this will be the right option for them, or if they will be a candidate for this in the future. Or did you accept any new friend requests today? Did you send any out? Teamzy is just kind of, again, setting your eyes where you need to be every day for each category. Again, you're gonna have a connection goal. Who are you reaching out to? Who are you checking in with? And then you're gonna have an invite goal. Who are you actually calling to take action on something? Invite you to participate in a 3-way call if you're sending them a solution tool, things like that. Then you've got your daily additions. Ultimately, these are just going to be anyone new that you include in your database or your sphere of influence, okay? New friend requests accepted or sent, meeting new people face-to-face and belly-to-belly. All of that would constitute a new add to your database. Okay, so come along with us when you're satisfied with your goals, and Teamzy is going to move you through to the second step in the process. which is finding that powerful why. Again, we talked about this a little while ago. Your powerful why is an extremely vital tool anytime you're sort of looking to be self-motivated or you have to get after a personal goal of any kind. Because your powerful why ends up being a reminder in your own voice of why you got in this business to begin with. Why at the end of the day, when you've had lots and lots of challenges, should you get up the next day and do it again? A lot of times this tool is it's the make or break moment. Okay, it can be that straw that broke the camel's back, for lack of a better term. So we've got an exercise here that's going to help you get to the base of your powerful why. If you're struggling for some inspiration, you were just thinking, what was the powerful why again? This little video is a really great listen. Our creator and founder here at Teamzy, Eric Johnson, actually shares his process. So that's a great listen. So we'll go through to the Finding My Powerful Why page. And this is going to, again, outline the exercise, which is just answering a question at a time. Why did you become a consultant? What did you hope to accomplish? And please don't feel like each answer has to be transcendent or, life-affirming. As you answer, each question is meant to deepen the overall powerful why. So just answer a question at a time. For me, in the beginning, it wasn't overly deep. So I feel like sometimes people get lost in this moment, or they feel like I'm not creative or motivated or inspirational in that way. It's okay. It needs to speak to you. So have it be in your words. I have one tip when you're navigating through the powerful why. You're going to answer each question. Why did you become a consultant? What did you hope to accomplish? When you get to the bottom of this exercise, you will notice there is a final field that says my why. This is just basically asking you to take your answers to the questions above and fill it out in that final paragraph. Okay, so it's just a copy and paste. Or you can, if you're one of those people that's incredibly inspired or, just creative in that way, you can go ahead and take your answers and create something that sounds really good. But really, if you just copy and paste it, it takes shape nicely on its own. Okay, if you're thinking to yourself, Jay, my powerful why isn't on my dashboard, but I did all of the steps, head back to this area and make sure you've got something saved in that final paragraph. When you're ready, hit continue, and we are on to the third step in the setup process, which is going to be importing your contacts. Now, this can be the part, where everybody's thinking, oh, it's going to get really hard, or I don't know what to do. It's okay. If you're thinking, I'm not tech savvy, Jay, I would not have any idea where to start, not to worry. I'm definitely going to give you some great tips and value as we go through this next step. But stay tuned because I'm actually going to share my direct contact information with you. So if you're thinking you just need a little more help or you'd like a one-on-one guide, I'm your gal. Alrighty, so when we're talking importing contacts into Teamzy, first thing that we want to chat about is the fact that Teamzy has a duplicate filter. Woo! Okay, so we have built a duplicate filter right into your Teamzy. What that means for you, every time you import a file, okay, so even if you've got one in your back office, one Facebook, LinkedIn, you've got your Instagram lists, you've got custom spreadsheets, you've created all your own, not to worry, you can bring them all into the system. Each time you import a file, Teamzy is going to be scrubbing that down on the back end just to make sure it catches as many duplicates as possible. It will be looking for unique email addresses, okay? So you might have a few that slip through. You might have someone that signed up with one email address through LinkedIn, then another as a customer in your back office. It happens. You might have to do a few merges, but in any case, know that Teamzy has that initial duplicate filter that's just working right alongside you. Okay, in that case, there is a way that you can stack the odds in your favor, okay, by bringing in your files in a certain order. So that's what we're going to cover next. If you've got a pen and paper, go ahead and jot this down. We're going to start by talking about the order in which you should import your contacts into Teamzy. Ready? Great. All right, so we're going to start with your customers and your consultants from your Pulse back office. So we are going to start with your customers and consultants from your Pulse back office. This first video on this page will actually walk you through that step by step by step. However, here is a quick tip. You only need to export your downline report. Pulse is now including both your customers and your consultants on one report known as the downline report. You can go ahead and export that one file, immediately import that into Teamzy. Teamzy will separate out customers from consultants, and you will be on your way. All right, so we are starting with our customers and consultants from that Pulse back office. Once we've got those settled right into Teamzy, you can go ahead and focus on any of those custom spreadsheets that you may have created, okay? You know the ones I mean, with the color-coded column and every single note you've ever sent them. It's beautiful, I know. Go ahead and bring that into the system. You have spent quite a bit of time compiling that information, so you should put it to good use. When you're bringing in custom spreadsheets, something to keep in mind: is this file a CSV, comma, separated value? Is this file a CSV file, a comma, separated value? And we will go over that again in a minute. So we're starting with our customers and consultants from our Pulse back office. Then you're going to bring in those custom spreadsheets you may have created. After you've got those custom spreadsheets, go ahead and bring in email services. So are you a Gmail user, Yahoo, Outlook, AIM, AOL? There are tons of email services out there. I'm almost positive that the one that you're using is compiling an address book for you. So that can be every correspondence you've ever had via email. Sometimes it's a great place to start. You can take a look through the file and see what people you do want to bring in. A lot of times it'll be underserved, people you need to reconnect with, but in any case, it's great potential. So your email services, are you a Gmail, Outlook, Yahoo user? You can pull your address book. After your email services, pardon me, I want you to go ahead and bring in your cell phone contacts. So the address book on your phone, you are able to export that list as well. We do have all of the instructions for these in your university area, and I will show you that as we progress through the demo. Okay, so we started with our customers and consultants from Pulse. Then you're going to go ahead and bring in any custom spreadsheets you might have. After your custom spreadsheets, I want you to bring in your email services. After your email services, you can bring in your cell phone contacts, okay? Anything from your mobile phone. Once we've got your mobile phone contacts loaded, then we can focus on things like LinkedIn, okay? Do you have LinkedIn connections that you can leverage? LinkedIn is an incredible source for connecting with people, not only because, you know, it's a super easy to use platform, but because it actually allows us as users to own our information. So what that means for you is that you can hit export and pull all of the information for people you have connected with. Phone number, email address, physical address if they make that available, where they work, their current position, information that just makes it really easy for serving them, especially in a professional network like Rodan and Fields. So consider, am I leveraging LinkedIn? And then I'll bring those into Teamzy. So from the top, customers and consultants from Pulse. Then you're going to go over and bring in your custom spreadsheets. After your custom spreadsheets, I want you to bring in your email services. After your email services, phone contacts, mobile phone contacts. After your mobile phone, go ahead and focus on your LinkedIn connections. LinkedIn connections. And again, stay tuned. I will show you how to access the instructions for each of these. Once you bring your LinkedIn connections and you've got all of those other files settled nicely into Teamzy, then you can set your eyes on Facebook or any other social media platforms, okay? Now, the reason that I have mentioned Facebook last is because Facebook, unlike LinkedIn, does not allow you to own your data. So you're going to pull a list of first and last names only. That's it. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, they're held to some of the highest privacy policies that exist out there, so they protect you the way they protect everyone else. It's going to be a list of first and last names. This is still very useful, okay? What I've just talked you through is creating a master list, okay? Consolidating the many, onesie-twosies that you've got spread out all over the place that sometimes fall through the cracks. We're putting them all in one place so that you can consistently start to build those relationships. All right, so we're gonna go through that list one last time, and then we're gonna move on to the next tip for importing. Customers and consultants from Pulse. Custom spreadsheets. Email services. Cell phone contacts. LinkedIn connections. And then after that, feel free to bring in your Facebook or any other social media files. This is usually where I get the question that pops up. Can I import my Instagram and my Twitter and my any other social media? Unfortunately, specific to Instagram and Twitter, you cannot simply hit export. They don't even give you a list of first and last names, unfortunately. We're always looking into ways to kind of make that possible, but for now, the only way to bring in your Instagram followers or Twitter followers would be to create a manual spreadsheet, okay? You just create a spreadsheet with first and last name and any other information that you have, and then you can import that into the system. What I did is I created a list and I used Instagram handles for anyone's first or last name that I didn't know. Okay, so that's gonna be your process for bringing in for importing your contacts into the system. Again, you wanna keep in mind that the system is scrubbing for duplicates. So every time you bring in a batch of names, it's going to search that against the existing names in Teamzy. And it's gonna let you know, okay, these people already existed, here are the new people that I've added. So when we're ready to import, Teamzy has, so these videos will walk you through exporting from Pulse. This is going to be your instructions for exporting from Facebook. And then ultimately this last video will take you through bringing those files into Teamzy. But we're actually gonna do one together. So before I move on from here, something to put on your radar. This is coming up more often than not. Facebook is going through some growing pains, okay? Even the big guys do. So what's going on is some of their users are finding that they've changed the process that we have outlined here in our video. You may be included. If you're thinking to yourself, Jay, I followed the instructions, the email never came in. Facebook never sent me my email with my actual data file. You are included. In that case, I want you to follow these instructions. Head back over to Facebook. Okay, once you've got Facebook open, in the upper right-hand corner, you've got a little tiny upside-down triangle. Go ahead and click there, come down to your settings. Again, if you qualify for this, or if you're somebody that's thinking that sounds like my situation, you've already been through this process. But in any case, we click the settings section, we come over to your general account settings. Very bottom of that page is download a copy of my Facebook data. You're gonna click it again, because remember you would have done it already. And now you're gonna notice the button says download my archive in green, instead of it saying start my archive. So what happened here is that Facebook actually has to compile all of the data that you've ever corresponded, liked, loved, anything, okay? It's all gonna be in one archived data file. So with that in mind, it can sometimes take a little while, but honestly, it usually doesn't take any more than 1 hour. So if you have been waiting more than 1 hour for Facebook to send you your file, go back to your settings area. Check that little download and see if it's automatically waiting for you. Facebook just skipped a step. They dropped it right into your account instead of letting you know that it's ready by email. So any other challenges with Facebook, if you're thinking, maybe that's me, stay tuned and I will share that contact info. And we're back to Teamzy. So those are the things that you want to keep in mind, okay? The order in which you import into the system, the fact that Teamzy is going to be searching for duplicates when I add my files. And then ultimately, when I'm exporting from Pulse, I can pull only my downline report. I don't need to worry about anything else. And Facebook, have I been waiting any more than an hour? Alrighty guys, when we're ready to import, we'll hit continue on this page and we're on to the import process. So, a moment ago when I was talking about the custom spreadsheets, I mentioned, is this in a certain format? So whenever you're bringing in a file, you want to consider the format it's in. Is this a Facebook file? Is it a Pulse file? Like, is it that downline report that I just pulled? Is it a CSV file, comma, separated value? If it is one of these file formats, I can import it. If I'm unsure, I can still import it. If I don't know how to check a format, I can still import it. Okay guys, what we've done is we've built in a filter for you, so I don't want you to agonize over it. If you're thinking, I wouldn't even know where to go to check a format, not to worry, select the file. Teamzy will tell you yes or no, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and choose our file. Teamzy is going to run that initial screen I just mentioned for you, and it tells me, okay, this file can be uploaded. Or it would give me a little red X, or the spinning wheel of doom, okay? In any case, if it does, you know there's an issue with the file, you can stop at that point and contact me. The system may flash my contact information on screen. In any case, reach out for help and we'd be happy to guide you through it. This system is ready to accept this file. So now before I hit continue, I can do a couple of things here. I'm actually going to click on advanced import options. Because I'm at the stage where I'm sort of consolidating information, right? Where I'm bringing in all of these different lists and I'm creating a master list. It might be nice to kind of be able to look at a contact and know, were you on the Facebook list, or maybe we connected through LinkedIn. Maybe I met your mom at PTA. So to stack the odds in your favor, I recommend that you use the tag section, okay? So when you have batches of lists, if you've got custom spreadsheets that you use to track everyone you sent a solution tool in June, in July, you can bring those in batches, and then you can actually create a tag that says, challenge group, July. Oh, yeah, that's how we spell July. And now the system is going to apply that tag to every single person that is on this list, so that you don't have to go through and identify each of them individually. You'll have that at a glance reminder, okay? So let's say that it was a challenge group list, or let's say it was a solution tool list, or if it was a Facebook list. These are my Facebook friends, so I can just type in Facebook there. So that way, again, at one glance, I'll know who came in from Facebook. When I'm ready, I'll hit continue. The system is going to automatically map that file. It's going to grab the email addresses and put it in the email field. Phone numbers, put it in the phone number, and so on. I will hit continue. Teamzy is now going to bring in those contacts, and it's going to move me through to the next step in the process. Yep, I know what you're thinking. Jay, you said 3 steps. You promised 3 steps. Not to worry, you have finished the meat of setup. Congratulations. So we have set our income goal. We've created our powerful why statement, and we've imported our contacts. So that's the meat. But now Teamzy needs your help in order to create your Power Hour tools. In order to do that, you need to decide who is the most important to me in my database, okay? So we want you to take a hard look at every person you bring in, whether they be a prospect, an existing customer, or an existing consultant. And you're gonna say, okay, these are my 5-star prospects, customers, consultants. People that these are my rock stars. I definitely want to connect with them every 30 days at least. So that's really the name of the game here. In Teamzy, the starred ranking is going to correspond to a default follow-up cycle. So my 5 stars, every 30 days like clockwork. Every 30 days, Teamzy is just going to serve them up to me without me going to look for them, without me setting a reminder anywhere else. It's simply going to make sure that this group of people gets a connection every 30 days at least. Okay, so then we've got our 4 stars. They're going to come up every 60 days. Our 3 stars every 90 days. 2 stars every 120 days. And your 1 stars will never come up automatically. So what's going to happen here, what I recommend with your 1 stars, that's a really great holding tank, especially if you choose to bring in consultants from your downline, upline, fellow teams. This is a good place where you can have their information on file, but then they're not going to muddy the water of your daily follow-ups, okay? So that's going to be your 1-star group. Then you've got, now you're just going to consider that each increment, okay, is going to change when I adjust the ranking. If I want this person to come up more often, I'm going to change their ranking. When you're ready, you're going to scroll down to the bottom, and Teamzy's got a little rank button. Now, this video, again, all the videos on each page basically talk you through what we're chatting about live. So if you wanted a little bit of a refresher when you're doing the process, you can. So we'll hit rank here. And Teamzy's going to redirect us to the page that makes it easiest to do the ranking. So it puts all of your names in front of you. So it's dropped you on the team page. So you'll notice all the way to the left of your screen, you have almost like a menu bar: dashboard, team, team report, business, and university. And I will take you through each of those tabs before the end of tonight's call. So we are actually going to start on the team page. This team page is going to list for you every single one of your contacts. So if you're wondering, oh, I want to see a list view, or I want to scroll through everyone in my database, or I want to see only my customers, only my consultants, your team page is where you can do that. Once you get to your team page, right above the list of names, you'll notice that there is a rank mode option. Because we're coming out of the setup wizard, Teamzy is again holding our hand, letting us know this is what we need. So it's opened up rank mode automatically. But if you're coming back to do ranking later on or down the road, which you are going to do, you can always come over to your team page, and you'll notice it'll look like this. The names will be in white, and it will actually have one name highlighted at a time. But if you want to go through and just make sure everyone's ranked appropriately, right above the list of names, you would just toggle or click on rank mode. You'll notice that displays everyone's active rank. So you can go down the list and just make the changes as you see fit. Everyone is going to come into the system defaulting to a 3-star ranking, okay? 3 stars. That means they're gonna come up every 90 days like clockwork. This is gonna be a safety net of sorts. Even if it takes a little while for you to get it in there and chip away at your entire list and readjust everyone, Teamzy is gonna start feeding them to you to connect, okay? Because it doesn't want anyone to fall through the cracks, no matter where they come from. So I would go down this list when I'm ready and I would simply click on the new ranking. Okay, actually, you know what? Marla's a 2-star. Oh, Rachel's a 4-star. Some are gonna jump out at you, so just go through in the beginning. I recommend that you cherry pick your 4 and your 5 stars, okay? Those are gonna jump out at you usually in the beginning. So go through, again, you have the option to come back to this stage and readjust people, or better yet, you can actually change the rank when Teamzy serves them up to you for follow-up, and I'll show you that when we're doing our power hours. So when we go through the list and we're ranking, you might come across a person that you're thinking doesn't need to be in your database for one reason or another. To the right of the ranking is an actual little trash can. So I can go ahead and click on that and it will allow me to delete anyone that I need to. Pardon me. So that would delete the person outright, moving the rest of the list up, and I can just keep moving down the list. Again, the system is doing an automatic save with you so that you're not missing any information or having to stop and save anything along the way. Some other things to keep in mind as you're setting up. I know you're consolidating info, right? So you might have a phone number here, but then email address, everything else in your customer file or something. In that case, you may need to manually add some pieces of information so that you have a full profile. So let's say, oh, you know what, Rachel sent me an email today. So now I can add her email address. If you click on a name in the list, this becomes their active profile to the right. So you'll notice Rachel's name is at the top. I can change her rank by clicking the little drop down, or I can change it in the list like you saw me do. I can scroll down a little bit further and the system will allow me to add a tag for Rachel. So I could tag her as something else, or by another product. I can tag her by product if I wanted to follow up on a certain date. You can create as many or as few tags as you want and customize those completely. So in addition to your tags, you've got a follow-up line. So some of you may also have existing follow-ups in place for people where, you know, on that beautiful spreadsheet, it's got a column that says next follow-up date. Go ahead and keep an eye on that as you're going through setup, because you need to tell Teamzy some of this information. It can't derive all of it from the import stage. So for Rachel, let's say on my spreadsheet, I've got Rachel, oh yeah, I've got to connect with her next Wednesday. So what I can do is click here, is actually come down to her follow-up line. It will say default because it's set to her 30, 60, 90 days, depending on what her rank is. So for Rachel, she's a 4-star. So she's not coming up for 60 days, but I need to follow up with her next Wednesday. Don't reach for your calendar. Don't grab the Excel spreadsheet. Go ahead and update your follow-ups right in the system. So now I can click from this drop-down and tell Teamzy, you know what, actually I'm gonna follow up with her tomorrow, in a couple days, 4 days, a week. You can go ahead and choose from one of the presets, or you can come down to custom date and it will give you access to a full calendar. So this will allow you to manage and view your follow-ups in real time as you're setting up your system. So let's say that I've got to follow up with Rachel on Wednesday. That now becomes her active follow-up date. I can move on. The system has done an automatic save. Let's say I've got Rachel's email address. I can click in the email field or in any field that I want to add information, and I would just basically update that with the information. Clicking anywhere else on the screen and the system will do an automatic save, again, giving me my little success message when it's added. I can add as many or as few details as I have at the time. You'll notice the system has information like contact-based details, social media links, and personal details, birthday, children's names, kids' names, pets' names, things like that. Anything that doesn't fit nicely in these fields, you've got a little notes section. So we've got a details area here right below the words member type. It's hard for me to know when my cursor has gone for you guys. So where you see details here, you should see notes to the right of it. And this is going to give you an option to actually track any notations you want to make about that person. So if you wanted to just quickly jot down something that would be sort of a note to you, from you, then that would be your notes section. Okay, and that can be accessed to multiple different areas. So let's say that I want to add a note. I'm going to go ahead and scroll down and I can click update. So your notes section is the one area of Teamzy where you do need to look for that update button, just so that Teamzy can apply the time and date stamp and it can save that detail. Last area in your profiles will be your activity feed. So this activity feed is really great. It's going to give you an itemized history record of every time you connect with someone and log it in Teamzy, okay? So it's gonna have a time and date stamp of every time you send and track someone's Facebook message that you send them. Or if you track that you sent them an email or something, it will have a running track there so you know where you are with each person. So that will be your activity feed. Let's say that I needed to make sure that Rachel is a customer, or if Rachel just became a customer. I could actually come to her member type line and I can make her a customer, or I can make her a consultant if she's a consultant. What you'll notice about the consultant dropdown, about the consultant identifier, is that it drops down additional options. So is this person a consultant, a personally sponsored consultant, or are they maybe just a part of your fellow team or maybe a member of your downline? This allows you to get really specific so that your numbers in your business page, which we will talk about later, will be correct. Okay, so as you're going through and you're setting things up, do I have all of the information that I need to connect? Have I ranked this person appropriately? And then are they in the right category? Did I type them? Are they a prospect, or are they a customer, or are they a consultant? Another quick way to readjust your types or the categories, customer, prospect, consultant, would be right above the list of names. You have type mode in addition to rank mode. So if we click on type mode, it's going to quickly, kind of display for us the active types everyone's in, and I can say, oh, you know what, actually these are customers, consultant, 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 and you can just go down the list and sort of redistribute or readjust people as you see fit. Again, this is something that's going to evolve or sort of change as you move forward, as you build these relationships up and as they grow. People are going to move from consultant to, from prospect to customer, from customer to consultant. So just know that you need to be updating your system so that your numbers and all of your totals are correct so that you're working toward your goals. So for setup, that's going to be the majors. Have I added all of the information I need to? Have I ranked and typed everyone appropriately? Once you've done all that, you are ready to start leaning into Teamzy for its Power Hour capabilities. All right, for that, we're gonna head over to your dashboard. Great, from the dashboard, this is going to actually be your virtual accountability partner, guys. This will let you know what you're doing, who you're doing it with, and when. So we started all of this by setting that income goal. Teamzy used that income goal to calculate for you the number of highly productive activities you need to do every day. Here are those activities. It's now displayed for me the number of prospects I need to connect with, the number of customers, and the number of consultants. Now, the way this works is the category will be listed, and then directly below it will be the number of activities I have left to complete for the day. So you'll see here that I've got 6 prospects to connect with today, 4 customers, and 3 consultants. So the number below is going to be how many you have to complete. As I start to log my activities, Teamzy is going to automatically update my dashboard so that I know at one glance how close or how far I am from meeting those goals. Alrighty, in addition to that connection goal every day, I have my goal for invites. So I've got 3 invites to do and 3 people to add to my database today. What I would do is scroll down to what's known as my Who's Up Next section. So this is going to be my action items. So if I know how many activities I need to do, here are the actual people or the activities that I need to complete. So the system has outlined for you a list of prospects. So you've got 5 viable names at all times. It's giving you a list of customers and a list of consultants so that you know that when you're ready to tackle that list of that number of goals, so if you've got 6 prospects to connect with, it's going to have the list for you right below it. Now, what's great about this list is it's not just randomized names. This is going to be a list of people for you to connect with based on their priority to you and your last point of communication. So Teamzy is making sure that no matter what, it will never let someone go more than 30, 60, 90, 120 days without connection. You want to make sure that they're in the right ranking so that they're getting enough of that connection. What you would do is you would scroll down. The system is going to basically refilter your list every single day, making sure it applies any changes you made to your ranks or anything like that. And it's filtered the people with the highest priority to the top. So I can see here that Eric is my first prospect up for connection. He's a 5-star who I have not connected with in the last 30 days, or at least that's what Teamzy is telling me. So what I can do is over to the right, Teamzy has opened up a conversation box for this individual contact. So you'll see the person's name. You'll see it's set to connect in purple. Now what I can do is I can basically just jot down in this white space what Eric and I talked about. Okay, if I reached out by Facebook and now we're having a conversation, I could basically just jump in there and, jot down anything that we're chatting about. But you may have, when you're getting into this and you've got 500 names, 1,000 names, it may get to the point where you're thinking, oh, how do I know this person again? Where did we meet? In that case, don't reach for your spreadsheet. Don't open another page or a different CRM where you've got the information. What you can do is access all of the details that you just brought into Teamzy directly from the dashboard without going anywhere else. So what I can do is I can click on activity. This will let me see, have I sent Eric anything in the past? Have we corresponded at all? Does it look like we have? I can click on details. That'll let me see, okay, I've got an email address, a phone number. Oh, that's right, we're Facebook friends. This is just to prove the point that your tags are super beneficial for you, especially from the dashboard, okay? Because at one glance now I know the nature of that relationship. Oh, we connect through Facebook, so I just head over to Facebook and I can send him a message. Now you might be thinking to yourself, what do I say? Or, I don't even remember what I wanted to say. You could sit around and agonize over every word that you say to each and every lukewarm prospect, but really that's not easily reproduced, okay? Neither to your team or for you to even want to do it. So in that case, we have built in a really, really awesome tool known as scripts and dialogues. In the upper right-hand corner of every single connect box, you have a script option. So now I can choose how I want to connect with Eric. Do I want to send him a Facebook message, email, text, Insta? I want to send him a Facebook message because we're Facebook friends. I can click Facebook. This is now going to arrange for me all of the different scripts that I have in the system it's going to filter them by the type of category I'm in. So right now it's showing me prospect scripts. So I can go down, okay, is this connect number 1? Is it connect number 2? Connect number 3? And these are not meant to be overly wordy or transcendent or any of that. It's just meant to plant the seed, okay? But honestly, guys, you never know how far the ripples go. So sometimes it's nice to just be able to consistently reach out to them, even if it is with just like a sweet nothing, And then that way they know that you're someone that's consistent, that is always there for them, who will be available as they sort of pursue this option or don't. So connect number 1, 2, 3, we've got follow-ups, number 1, all the way up to magical follow-up at number 10. So feel free to give those a look through, see how you want to use them. Again, it's a great way, especially when you're trying to get through if you're starting to just touch base with some new prospects, reconnecting with people, we've got great scripts in there so feel free to take a look. Something else to keep in mind, you can actually save your own scripts on file. So we give you some places to start, but if you've got a tried and true script or something that you've got your entire team using that's just like gangbusters, go ahead in there and you can save your script and reuse it as you move forward. To save a new script, in the upper right-hand corner, you've got new script button. That's just going to basically open up the option to create a script. You can title it, you can tell the system, okay, I want to find this as an email script, I want to find it as an Instagram script. And all of that's going to be available for you just as you're setting it up. All right, so that's going to be how you access and utilize your scripts moving forward. But let's say, you know what, yeah, I'm just going to send Eric a quick Facebook script. So it's our first connection. I'm going to copy that. Teamzy has that quick copy option. Because this is going to be through Facebook, I will need to send this through Facebook Messenger. There is no direct link. I like to copy and paste exactly what I'm sending to people in Teamzy. It lets me know exactly what they received so that when I'm checking in the next time, I know exactly sort of where I'm going. This allows me to personalize it a little bit. I can just kind of customize it for the person, or I can just do another copy. And I'll come over to Facebook. I usually keep them side by side. It's just easier to get things going. I'll find the person on my list. I'll drop the message. I come back over to Teamzy. I let Teamzy know how I sent that message by Facebook, and then I can indicate if it was an invite. Am I inviting him to do anything? Nope, I'm just checking in, so I can leave that unchecked where you see invite. And you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and log that connect. This has now sent a message to my dashboard that I've connected with yet another one of my prospects, and it's removed Eric from my list so that I'm only focused on the people that need my connection right now. Teamzy has filtered him back into the database, and it's added him to the queue for 30 days from today. I can always search for Eric and reach out before then, but I know that Teamzy's kind of monitoring it on the back end so nobody falls through. I would just keep moving. Teamzy's gonna let me know, okay, I've got 5 left. I would just keep going down that list. It will continue to feed me names based on priority and last point of communication. Now, looks like William's coming up for connection. He's a 4-star. That means I haven't connected with him in 60 days. So I could basically say, oh, you know what, we chat about upcoming event. Okay, so let's say that William and I chat about upcoming event, really excited, he's gonna join me, but you know what, Will's gotta run right now, but I really want to follow up with him tomorrow to get him all the details, let him know how pumped I am he's gonna be there. You know, whatever the situation is, if you wanna follow up in a few days or in a week on a mini facial or on a solution tool or whatever the case is, you can set your own follow-up right here as you're logging the connection. So what I would do in that case is in the upper right-hand corner of the space where I'm actually typing, you'll notice it says follow-up and default. So that means he's 4 stars, he's coming up 60 days from when I hit log connect. But I can actually click this drop down and Teamzy will let me select a preset tomorrow in a couple of days. Or I can click the calendar and I can say, you know what, I'm gonna follow up with him on Saturday. The system wants me to tell it how I'm connecting with him. Okay, we're chatting by phone. Oh, but you know what? This is an invite. I'm actually asking him to join me. So I'm going to check mark that it's an invite. The system is going to give me another way to get specific. So I can go ahead and select from this drop down and it will let me choose, okay, am I inviting him by way of a solution tool, through a call? Am I inviting him to an event, a BBL, an opportunity call? I would just indicate that. Hit log connect, and now a few different things have happened. It removed William from my list, refiltering and bringing up the next person. It counted that it tracked that I have connected with yet another prospect, and it tracked my invite all in one track as I was connecting. So that's going to be how you connect from the dashboard. Names are just going to come up, and you're going to move through until you've completed your goals. Let's say I completed all of my prospect connections. I would move on to my customers. Again, the system is going to give you a customer list arranged by priority and last point of communication. So I could scroll over here and I can say, oh, you know what, send solution tool or whatever the case is, send sample. So you can make these areas as detailed or not detailed as you'd like. They can be a copy and paste of exactly what message you sent to the person. This is a message to you from you. You will eventually start to reference this in that activity feed to know where you are with that person. So again, as detailed as you want it to be, okay? So let's say we spoke about something, I sent her a sample, I could actually select the type of how we connected. Okay, so we chatted by Facebook message, I am actually inviting her something, so I'm going to select from here because there's not something specific for a sample or following up on a sample, I can say other. Now I can tell the system, okay, I'm gonna connect with her in 2 days. I'll log that connect. It tracks to my dashboard that I've connected with a customer now. It tracks yet another invite and it's just moving the people through the list. Essentially scrubbing your list down for you. So that's gonna be how you use your dashboard. Areas to focus on in your power hour would be that scripts and dialogues area, okay? Being able to access information like their details. What do I have on them? Do I have a phone number for them, an email address, their tagged information? All of that will be available directly from the dashboard. So those are definitely some features to leverage when you're getting into your power hours. Some other things to keep in mind. Let's say that Laura came up for connection and I wanted to send Laura an email. I can actually send emails directly through Teamzy. So if I'm a Gmail subscriber, if you are a Gmail subscriber, you can actually link Teamzy to your Gmail and it will allow you to send emails directly through the system. To do that, the easiest way would be to select type and then come over to send email with the word new by it. This is going to walk you through the process of syncing that account. And then in the future, when you come back here, you'll have the option to just create the body of an email in real time, or you could save templates and reuse them in the future. So if you've got a killer invite, product, whatever the case may be, you can save them on file, call on them, update the person's name, and just hit send. So another feature to really focus on or really lean into during your power hours would be the Gmail capability. Okay, so you can access and you can send emails directly through the system. You can access scripts and dialogues directly from the dashboard, and you can go ahead and track and view all of the details for any given contact right from the dashboard. All right, guys, so let's say as we were connecting, okay, we set a few follow-ups. I set one for William, I set one for Eric, but where do I find those? Where will those be listed every day? So in Teamzy, your Who's Up Next section is going to list everything for you. It's going to give you all of your custom follow-ups and these proactive connections that I just described. So for any of those custom follow-ups that you may have set, where I said I wanted to check in with William tomorrow, those are going to be on your follow-ups list on the dashboard. Again, this will arrange for you, but this list is going to display by urgency. So what's due today, past due, and so on. Okay, you'll have them color-coded. So I'll see William's follow-up set for Saturday. I'll see that I've set one for Becky, and I've got one for Rachel. So this is really great if you're wondering if you're trying to time block or get better with your time. You can log into Teamzy, and it will actually have a notification right above the word follow-ups that lets you know how many you have due today. So it'll say 3 or 2 or 1 or whatever the case is. And then you know, okay, I've got to time block enough time to get through my 3 custom follow-ups where I'm checking in about things, and then I need to do 13 proactive connections, okay? So that's kind of how you want to work your dashboard. For anyone who's thinking, what happens if I've got more than 5 follow-ups and I can't see them all on the dashboard? If you want to see a full list of your follow-ups, you're going to head over to the team page. Then from here, along the left-hand side, you've got follow-ups right under team members. So where you can see your prospects or your customers or your consultants, you'll also have the option to view all of your upcoming follow-ups. This is going to give you a running list of every single follow-up that you've got set year to date. You can go down and scroll through every follow-up that you have. All right, so those are going to be the major elements that I want you guys to focus on, especially as you're getting started or set up in the system. This is the perfect time to open up the floor to questions that anyone may have. So please jump in that question and answer section, and I will go ahead and answer directly from there. Stick with me. After Q&A, I will jump back in and show you a few more features that I think you should see. Thank you so much for your time tonight. I really appreciate it. For those of you that may need to run, I'm going to share my contact information like I promised. Oh. There we go. All right, so that contact information is up on screen for you now. Like I said, feel free to jump in the question and answer if you have any other questions. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and pull that down. I will put that back up toward the end of the call. All right, so you should be taking a look at my dashboard now. So our first question is coming from Phyllis. What if I already exported my Facebook contacts during my 30-day free trial? I was trying to get the feel of it and didn't know the right order to import. Okay, so in that case, you can always undo or wipe out imports that you've done if you wanted to start fresh. To do that, you want to head over to your team page. Okay, again, this is going to be where all of those names are listed in the upper left-hand corner-ish. You're going to notice that you've got a little tiny import dropdown. That dropdown is going to allow you to not only import contacts, but then to view all of the files that you've imported. So if we select import history, this will give me an itemized list. It'll say friends, or it'll say Facebook friends, or it'll say, Google. Depending on what your file was called, you'll see them all listed. You can go in and as simply as clicking delete this import, it will wipe all of the corresponding contacts and you can start over. If you need help with that, feel free to reach out to me directly. Alrighty, let's see here. So Stephanie wants to know, how do I recommend ranking? So whenever you're ready to rank, so I'm just going to bring those contacts back in the system. So whenever you're ready to rank contacts in Teamzy, you want to consider that this is something that you're doing so that Teamzy can help remind you of who to connect with. That doesn't mean that you have to go through everyone, okay? So when you're ready, you're going to go over to your team page. Once you're on the team page, you're going to be looking at all of your contacts, okay? Let's just go ahead and refresh this page. Normally, you're looking at all of the names unhighlighted. I recommend that you look above the list of names to where you see rank mode. And this is going to let you toggle or click on. So you can go ahead and click on rank mode. This is going to display everyone's active rank. We recommend that in the beginning, you go through and cherry pick your 4 and your 5 stars, okay? You don't have to rank everyone. Everyone's in that sort of safety net, okay, of the 3 stars. So go in and try and cherry pick your 4 and your 5 stars. Once you get going, you can start connecting with people on the dashboard, right? When you get through all of those 5s and the 4 stars, you'll start to see your 3 stars coming in waves, okay? So in that case, you can basically just say, oh, you know what, actually, Rachel should be a 2-star. And the system will automatically refresh that page, adjusting the rank, putting her where she needs to be or he needs to be in the queue so that they can bring up the next contact. So know that you have the option if you need to delete someone. You can go ahead and delete them directly from the dashboard, or you can readjust their rank or whatever the case may be. So tip here, go through and cherry pick your 4 and your 5 stars to start, and then little by little chip away at the rest of the list. Okay, let's see here. So Amy wants to know if you have a contact from multiple places, Facebook, Instagram, Gmail, will Teamzy automatically merge them? Teamzy does not have a merge function, okay? It does not have a merge function. It does have a duplicate filter. So what's happening is it's searching for unique email addresses. So if it finds that, okay, Jane Smith already came in with the email jane@123, and it sees Jane Smith with the email jane@123, it will simply skip the second one. It will not merge any of those details up at this time, okay? It's simply going to skip the second contact, leaving the one in the system. So duplicate filter, not a merge function. That is something that we're always kind of looking for an option or the right solution for our system. So keep your eyes out. We may see that option at some point in the future. All right, guys, let's see here. So Stephanie wants to know how important is it to import in that particular order? Guys, that was just meant to stack the odds in your favor. What happens is when we've got our duplicate filter working, it's best if you start with the files that have the most information. Because then, just like our previous question, the system's not going to merge the information up. If you bring in the information that has, if you bring in the file that has all of the information last, Teamzy is going to think those people already exist and it won't bring it in. So my recommendation is that you start with the most robust files. You do not have to. You can always, if you've already brought in all of your files, simply go in and manually update your profiles as you need them, okay? Readjusting the ranks, you're gonna do that anyway. So it's not an end of the world scenario if you've already imported your contacts in a different order. That's just the order that kind of limits, you know, any unnecessary duplicates and then allows you to save as much or capture as much of the good details as possible. Okay, let's see here. So Stephanie wants to know, ranking someone a 1-star would mean that they would never come up, or it would be someone that you're not pursuing. So exactly, your 1-stars are never gonna come up automatically on your dashboard. So you would have to go looking for them. They will still be in your system. You can always search for a contact using your search contact at the top of the field, the top of your page. It follows you around throughout the database. So you can just search first or last name, and then you can navigate to their full profile. So you've always got the option if you want to set them to a single star and then they won't come up on your dashboard, but then you still have their information in the system, or you can delete them outright. What do you rank your consultants and current customers? So again, current customers and current consultants get their own rank. So they can be a 5-star consultant or a 4-star customer. It depends on that relationship, because you still need to be connecting with those people and, you know, building on that relationship over time. So you can have a rock star consultant that you reach out to every 30 days. The same way you can have some consultants that maybe, you know, are every 90 days or, you know, every 120 days. It's completely your choice. And so Stephanie wants to know, what do I mean by cherry picking? So when you've got a full list, okay, you can leave the 3 stars or the people that you don't know where you want them to be. So let's say I'm looking at my full list of names, right? That's like 100 names on this list. What I'm going to do is go through and try and just find the 4 stars, the people who are, you know, the rock stars, people I want to connect with in the greatest frequency. So if I don't know where Marlo should be, I'm just going to skip him and go on to Laura or go on to Rena. So you're just going to find the people and pick them out that should be 4s or 5 stars. Just a different way of saying that. Okay, let's see here. So Karen wants to know, can I scroll through my contacts or team to make edits as the contact comes up instead of searching for specific people? Absolutely. So if you want to go through your entire list to find a name, you can. The best way to do that is to come to your team page. Again, this will arrange all of your contacts, whether they were manually imported or whether they were imported or manually added one at a time. So what you can do is basically scroll down this list. The system will bring up every single person. You can arrange this alphabetically. You can sort it by last point of communication. You can sort it by rank if you'd like. So you've got lots of different options on the team page. That will also allow you to quickly edit things in the profiles. So if if I'm looking for Eric, I could come down this list and say, okay, here's Eric. Now I want to add his address. When I click anywhere else, it does an automatic save. I can move on to the next person on the list that I want to adjust. So that's just kind of how you would navigate through your lists a little more easily. All right, guys, I think that's all of the questions in the Q&A. Feel free to jump in there if you have any others. I am going to share with you a couple more features that I think you should focus on. So you can access Teamzy on the go, okay, from your mobile device. We do not have an app, so you're not going to the App Store, but you have the option to access Teamzy through your browser on the phone. So it's a mobile site. So you're going to go to open up Safari or Chrome or whatever the case is, whatever you're using, and then you should see in the URL bar app.teamzy.com. So I want you to type in app.teamzy.com. So what you see right now in my URL, app.teamzy.com. Once you get over to Teamzy, go ahead and log in, and then just save your login credentials so you don't have to log in every time. And then I'm going to stop my share really quickly. So this is actually my Teamzy app here. So if I tap on this, it's going to go ahead and load my Teamzy dashboard. Oops, my Teamzy dashboard. And it lets me see my progress, who I need to connect with. All of that information is available on the go. So that's going to be the best way to access your Teamzy from your cell phone. Okay, you're going to put in app.teamzy.com, go ahead and log in, save your login credentials, and then you can always sort of navigate that when you're on the go. You can send emails if you've got that Gmail link active. You can connect with people. You can add people in real time as you meet them out and about, that sort of thing. So, mobile accessibility. Now, we started all of this by talking about an income goal, okay? You set up in Teamzy that you wanted to make a certain amount of money in the next 12 months. It's going to be important that you actually track how much money you've made with respect to that overall goal. For that, on the left-hand side, we're going to go ahead and select business. Your business tab is going to list for you all of your business statistics. So the first wheel is going to give you your goal. So it lets me know I've got a goal of $100,000 for 12 months. And then in the circle is going to let me know how much I've actually tracked toward that income. So have I made 5,000, whatever the case is. To add income into Teamzy, you're going to go ahead and click the little plus symbol, or you're going to hit add income in the upper right-hand corner. Either of which are going to give you an itemized income report. This is awesome because you can kind of, even if you're, if you didn't realize this was here and you're thinking, oh, I definitely want to track my income, you can go in here and say, this is how much I've made from January 1 until now. So it's just a date range. You choose if you want to split it up by quarter, you can enter it that way, or you can just sort of catch yourself up. So that's going to be how you track your income in Teamzy. Other statistics that are displayed on this page would be your customers. So your total number of customers, your total number of personally sponsored consultants. Remember when we were talking through setup and I mentioned to you, okay, when you set up someone as a consultant and then you can choose personally sponsored, these are the numbers that you're updating. Okay, then you've got a growth report. an activities report, your ratios broken down connects to sale. How many sales do you have to make in order for someone to convert into consultant? And then how many all-time connections have you made in Teamzy? If you come far enough on down that list, you can actually pull an itemized activity report. So this will actually let you see or filter to see, okay, you know what, I want to know how many people I connected with, how many people I connected with today versus, you know what, how many people I sent solution tools to. And you can filter that view, you can export it, and you can print. So that's going to be your activity report, and that lives on your business page. All right, guys, and then last but not least is your, actually we've got two more. We've got your university tab on the left-hand side. The university tab is awesome for kind of learning new things about Teamzy if you're still getting the hang of the system. This is going to display for you FAQs, tutorial videos, webinars, things like that. So you can go ahead and jump in there per your, per your network, and it would list all of that information for you. Last but not least, a brand new feature in Teamzy is going to be your team report, okay? The team report is going to be an awesome accountability tool for you. This is going to give you the chance to actually view not only your progress, but your teammates' progress, so that if you have a success partner on the team, or if you want to include your entire team, some of my team leaders like to do this. This will actually let you see your progress for today versus, you know, everyone else on the team. Or you can set it to a weekly view if you want to see how everyone's doing for the week or for the month. So this is a really great tool for you to use. You want to keep in mind that it's going to be available for your fellow team members who use Teamzy, okay? So go ahead and check out your team report. That's brand new. That's a great way for you to keep your team accountable. All right, guys, so I shared my contact information with you, so if you need help along the way, you can always reach out. But if you misplace my contact info, or you're thinking, I don't even remember her name, in the lower right-hand corner of your screen, you've got a help button. That's going to give you access to a live support team. We'd be happy to help. We get back to you as soon as we possibly can. So feel free to jump in there and ask any questions you might have. And then last is going to be our community section in the upper right-hand corner. That's going to give you the ability to actually interact with our overall Teamzy community. You can get in there and let us know what you like, what you love, what you want to see more of, things like that. Okay, I appreciate your time tonight, everyone. Feel free to jump in the question and answer or in the chat section to ask any questions you might have, and I'll stick with you. I appreciate your time. I'll put my contact information up as you go.